While the leaders of the world's two largest economies are meeting in Beijing, Fox News anchor Bret Baier is waltzing around the city doing his job, scaremongering his viewers back home in the United States about just how draconian China's traffic enforcement is. Baier claimed that he asked his Chinese driver to park illegally while they were filming, resulting in a fine after being caught on traffic cameras. And you know exactly how Fox News are going to frame this, right? Well, at least you won't be surprised. But today I also want to show you guys another video. Not a propaganda video carefully curated by the Fox News team, but one filmed by a Beijing local, which shows exactly the regard Baier and his team have for law and order here in China. Today we'll go beyond the propaganda and look at all the details. This is Reports on China. I'm Andy Boreham here in Shanghai. Let's get reporting. This morning, the presidents of China and the United States have met for discussions in Beijing. President Xi Jinping talked of the responsibility the two sides have as leaders of large countries to work together for the betterment of the entire world. President Trump talked about how great President Xi is as a leader and how the two have an amazing friendship, the best in the world. And drawing all that, Fox News anchor Bret Baier has been out on the streets of Beijing with one motive: show his viewers back home just how dark, dirty, dangerous, and dystopian China's capital really is. And what's the easiest way to make China bad propaganda? Well, that would be to annoy local authorities so you can get the money shot, a police officer trying to cover your camera lens. Then you could package yourself as a victim of China's anti-free speech authorities. Well, unfortunately for Fox News, they haven't got that shot yet. So they went for the second lowest hanging fruit, Beijing's surveillance cameras. Let's watch.
Big Brother is watching. There are literally cameras everywhere in Beijing. We are outside the Hadian station, and I can count at least 20 on this corner. In fact, in Beijing, they've added 1,500 cameras just this year alone. They see everything. There's nobody jaywalking here because they could get a ticket right away. In fact, our driver parked illegally for 2 minutes, and he got a message on his phone that he got a ticket for about $40 US because they saw it on the camera. Now, there are real questions what the CCP's goal is about citizen tracking and social scoring. They say it's to make everybody feel safe. These cameras are watching every minute. They're everywhere. And while they're watching us here in China, we hope you continue to watch. Special report from Beijing.
Wow, where do I begin? Firstly, Baier is standing at a busy intersection, so the vast majority of those cameras are traffic cameras. And yes, if you park illegally or run a red light or whatever else, you might get a fine. That's the same everywhere in the world. He mentioned his driver parked illegally for 2 minutes and got a ticket for around $40 US. Well, that, shock horror, is not accurate. The fine is actually 200 RMB, which is under $30 US. But anyway, it also means his driver parked illegally in a prohibited area, which usually includes busy intersections, hospitals, malls, and train stations. And that is because if everyone parks illegally in those high-traffic places, traffic will come to a standstill. It is just common sense. But then Baier goes on to mention social scoring. That is when his propaganda training really kicks into gear. Because one of the biggest anti-China conspiracy theories many of his viewers in the US still believe is that China has a social credit scoring system. Basically, they believe that if a Chinese person jaywalks or plays video games too late at night or criticizes the government policy, that the government will take points from their social credit score, which will then impact their ability to ride trains, borrow money, or rent an apartment. Well, like I pointed out in my book, it does not exist. It never has. It just exists in the imaginations of propagandists like Bret Baier from Fox News. And notice how we mentioned it really fleetingly, without explaining much at all. Well, that's all these people have to do. Mention the social credit score in passing, and the viewers' propagandized imaginations will do the rest of the work for you. He also mentioned that China's government claims all those cameras are to make everybody feel safe. To make everybody feel safe. No, Bret, they literally make everybody safe, or at least contribute to how safe China is. I also mentioned this in my book, which you can now buy on Amazon, by the way. China is extremely, extremely safe. In fact, in China in 2024, an ordinary person was 16.5 times less likely to become the victim of homicide than in the United States. 16.5 times. And there were some interesting comments under the video on X. Let's take a quick look before I show you guys another video which highlights just how little regard Baier and his team have for the rule of law here in China. A large X account with 1 million followers shared the video and wrote, "The Chinese communists have just ticketed the Fox News crew using their abundance of surveillance cameras placed around Beijing. This is communism. It's what the Democrats want." Okay, let's check out some of the replies then. Jai Xiang wrote, "So the story is the Fox driver parked illegally, the city enforced the traffic law, and somehow that's communism? By that standard, red light cameras in Texas and parking tickets in DC are also Marxist uprisings." Lauren Chen wrote, "America also has traffic cams. How is this different?" Bay Area People's Republic added, "I thought Republicans were the party of law and order." Another ex-user wrote, "Parked illegally, got a ticket. That's not communism, that's called traffic law." And for all their moaning, Fox News' Bret Baier and his crew showed how little disregard they have for law and order here in China in a video taken by a local that was posted on Douyin, China's TikTok. It shows the anchor and his team of 4 or 5 doing a 2-camera piece while walking straight down the middle of what is clearly a biking lane, interrupting ordinary commuters in the process. One user replied, "Try that in Sydney, London, or New York." Another added, "Such disrespect for law and order in other people's house. Barbaric US." Yet another said, "Any normal person knows you shouldn't stand in the middle of a busy road with heavy traffic. Why does he think he has special privileges in China?" Exactly, and that's it. These people know full well that they're just producing propaganda, and they'll do anything to achieve that. While trying to make their naive viewers believe that China is dark, dirty, dangerous, and dystopian, they walk around with disregard, knowing full well that everything they're spouting is just propaganda for their highly propagandized audiences. They know they won't be questioned. They know their audience won't dive deeper. They know their bosses will lick their lips and pat them on the back for a job well done. Well, Trump is still here for another 24 hours or so let's cross our fingers that some fair and honest reports come out of US mainstream media. But I will not be holding my breath. And on that note, that will be all for today, you guys. But as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you surprised at all that Fox News aren't producing enlightening and informative reports from Beijing? Would their viewers suffer from an allergic reaction if they were given honest China reporting? Let me know down below, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help the channel. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.